What is up, guys? You're tuning into this Okiru podcast. I'm your co-host, Jasper, and we thank you so much for spending this time with us. We hope you enjoy this episode. Make sure to follow us on our socials at Okiru on Instagram, Okiru on Facebook, Okiru on YouTube, and also Okiru on major platforms such as Spotify and Apple Music. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. We hope you enjoy.
Okiru.
Yo, check 1 2. This is the Okiru podcast. We're in the Victoria State Library, right? That's it. Who knew
Correct.
they had this like amazing studio, right?
I know,
Cool. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's free.
It's
for
free.
Victorians. Yes.
Yeah, they haven't been promoting it. But I was just curious, like, what is there any other places to do podcasts? And then like, State Library popped up. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
When I did the orientation, they said, we're not promoting it yet. We just want to see if people organically come, like,
That's dope.
find it themselves. Like,
Right, it's by word of mouth, right? Like that's how the best places to grow.
Damn.
And you know, we were very lucky to meet AJ Jules, Naz, AJ Jules, Naz at the Who Are We event, and that was like through word of mouth, right? So like,
yeah, that's
I'm
true.
so happy I met you guys.
yeah, we're so happy to meet you too.
Yeah, thank you.
So like, tell us about your journey. You're in high school and
Yes.
you started your own business. Like, tell us about that. Where did this all start?
Okay, so I'm in year 12 and I always like had a passion for business. Like I do business studies at school as well. And like during COVID, when COVID happened, I went through like a very downwards of like emotional, like I couldn't handle my emotional like state and everything. So it was like a pretty bad state. And then after like I started thinking, you know, I was like, oh, I need to turn my life around. Like I can't keep being like this, because I would sleep in my bed all day, not talk to anyone, not do anything. It was really bad. So I was like, I got to turn my life around, change things up. And then I was like, all right, I always wanted a business. I'm going to start it. In like a month, I ordered everything in one day. I planned, like I researched, planned, ordered. And then the next month, everything came and I was like, all right, got to set when I'm going to do it. Everything straight away, boom, in. I was like, all right, AJ Jules. I don't even know how I came up with AJ Jules. I think it was kind of like jewelry. I'll do jewelry because I feel like that would be pretty fun. And I did some research on what type of jewelry. And I was like, resin? Resin sounds pretty fun. So I did it. And then I came up with the name AJ Jules after like someone very important in my family. So it's like their initials, AJ.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. And it kind of rhymed with Jules. I was like, AJ Jules.
I love to hear the stories behind people starting their business. And, you know, we are in a similar experience with you.
Yeah.
Like I was personally in a downward spiral. I know Gerald was in a downward spiral. Yeah. And it was like, we had to change our life, right?
Yes.
And I think that's how people change in those times of suffering. And you can either go lower or you could choose to accelerate you know, where you want to go. And it's just amazing to hear you say that, because, you know, there's other people out there who's going through the same thing, but hasn't taken initiative to better themselves, right? And that's why we're here, because we want to inspire that growth to become better, to rise together, to rise up. Right.
Yeah. And I didn't like at the time, I didn't have like much. I did have support, but I didn't tell anyone about it. So a lot of people, when I came out with AJ Jules, you know, like 2 people knew about it. My parents didn't know about it. And I was just kind of scared, I guess. I was like, oh, what are people going to think about me? Are they going to, like, am I going to be like embarrassed of this? Is this even going to work out? I'm taking such a big risk. So I didn't tell anyone. I told like 2 people. And then like when I promoted it on my page, my friends started promoting it too, not knowing it was me. Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then people started messaging me saying, hey Naz, is this you? Like, this is so amazing. It's so cool. And I was like, oh my God, yes, it is me. Like, how'd you know? And they're like, oh, it's kind of obvious because you kept promoting it. And then eventually my parents questioned it. And I was like, hey Naz, what's this? And I was like, it's my business. And then I told them about it and they were pretty supportive. Like, they helped me out a lot. Yeah, so it was amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, we had a very similar experience. We were kind of like, oh, we don't know, because even when we started, we're not sure if we should put our faces out there. That this is our brand. Like we had the same exact feeling. So yeah, we know exactly what it's like.
It's tough because you don't know if people are going to be like, oh, what are they doing? Or they're going to be supportive. There's like 2 ways. And so I was kind of like scared. I was like, oh, a lot of people are going to be like, why is she making jewelry? Why is she doing this? She should just focus on herself. And, you know, a lot of people do tend to prey on people's downfall. So I was kind of scared of that as well. But I got a lot of support.
That's
So it was really good.
Sounds like a beautiful organic snowball effect of love.
Yeah.
And that's what Okiru has experienced as well from the very start.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's that natural human reaction is you're putting yourself out there and you're scared of that judgment. But it's, like you're saying, a risk. But just do it because the rewards are right behind there, and the intention that you're putting in to your jewelry and the love in there and the love with Okiru as well. People see it and they come.
Yeah. It was a great journey though. Anyone out there that wants to do it, just go for it. 100% recommend it. Like, I think it's like one of the biggest steps I've taken in my life to change my life around. You know, like AJ Jewels grew me as a person as well. Like, it just changed so many aspects within my life. Like, it's just a business, but that business like defines me, you know.
That's amazing that you say that, because I can say the same thing. Like, I was looking back at what I was writing before, and I was like, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for Okiru. If I didn't go through the steps of learning these skills that are necessary to life. Because when you're in high school, when you're just in school in general, you get taught this one mindset: oh, you gotta have this career path, and this is what you have to achieve, right? But there's that paradigm shift in the generation now. Everyone's like, oh, I got to do something more for myself. People are searching for different ways, multiple ways to live a better life, right? That's why people are searching ways to earn different streams of income. And one of the best ways is to have your own business. And it's the best way to create that revenue when you have your own asset, which you're creating, right? Your own business. That's the best way to do it. And if you hear a lot of financial successful people, all of them pursue business at some point. And the skills that you learn through it, you learn to become an accountant pretty much. You learn to become a manager, a team leader. You learn so many skills that you won't learn in just having this employee mindset. And I'm not trying to knock the employee mindset, but the growth that it can have through pursuing something greater than a title, a position, it's incredible. Right? And look where we've come. In just 2-3 years, we've learned so much, and there's so much more growth. Right?
Not only does it make you think outside the box, you know, get out of that mindset, but it also helps you connect to people. Like, we connected.
100%.
Like,
Exactly.
I met you guys, and it was just, it's amazing. It's amazing where it takes you.
Not only do you think outside the box, you are creating.
That's it.
And it's Lego blocks. In terms of community, it's your block here, you've joined up with our block. And then the Who Are We and everybody else's. We're building a castle together of community and business. So it's really beautiful.
Helping each other grow.
That's it.
It's amazing.
That's the one thing I didn't expect when we started Okiru, like meeting so many like-minded people along the journey. Just like, oh, cool. I was gonna say, I really love your brand. You know, like let's do something together.
Exactly.
I was like, oh, cool. I didn't expect that. Like, because you always think so low of yourself at the start. You're like, you have so many doubts in your mind at the start, but like later on, you're just like, oh, cool. There's so many people that like, It's awesome.
And you can only find it by getting out there and just doing it, right? Like, there's no. It's just staying in your room and just thinking about it is like not going to help you. But as much as it sucks, people go through that. So what can, like, in those days, I know we all been through that day where we just stayed in bed. It's like, oh, I don't want to do anything. What have you guys done to propel yourself forward or helped you the next day to win the day? Is there anything that you guys done?
Well, I'm a very competitive person. And when I during my days where I was in bed on my phone, especially going through TikTok and everything, and just watching watching other people succeed and watching my friends go places, and I'm like, damn, that could be me. That could be me.
That could be you.
Am I trying? So I was like, I let my competitiveness out, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna change it. I stopped procrastinating. I just went for it. I think it's just like watching, because you know how social media can be toxic, and comparing yourself to them. I guess that comparing kind of helped me. I know it's bad, but it helped me. I was like,
comparison helps though.
Yeah, it does help. Yeah,
if you use it in that healthy form of like, oh, what else can I learn from this person, and how can I get into that person's position? I heard something so beautiful, and it's just like, we can't use these people's as an excuse for us why we can't be great, why we can't be extraordinary. Don't use other people's extraordinary qualities as an excuse to stay where you are.
Yeah.
Because that's the worst thing you could do. Use it as that, oh, I can be there too. Because that person most likely has been in your position as well. The difference is they did something more to help themselves go forward. Right?
You just learn from each other.
Exactly.
Yeah. Social media helps, but it can be toxic, but it really does help. It does help.
Depends on the perspective, really.
Yes, exactly.
You can see it like as a competition, like, hey, this person's doing it, I can do that too. Yeah. Instead of
using it as all excuse of why I can't do something. That's the worst thing you can do.
So Naz, how did you cultivate that perspective and mindset to say, hey, the competitiveness of it all? Because other young people or other young women, especially with Instagram and TikTok, it's comparing and feeling not good enough. How did you develop the competitiveness of, hey, I can do this too?
Well, I kind of like, I strive on like, I don't strive on people's opinion, but like people's opinion get to me, but then they don't get to me in a way where I get truly hurt. I do get hurt, but not entirely. I use it as motivation to really go like forward. So I would have friends that would, in the past, like friends that would be like, oh, you're gonna be nothing, So, being competitive and everything, I kind of put that in I kept, rethinking about it. I was like, I'm gonna prove to them, I'm gonna be something, I'm gonna prove to them, I'm gonna prove to them. So I just took all that toxic words in me, held it, and then just released it into something beautiful, better, something. I was like, I'm gonna change those words. I'm gonna get there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Using the haters to your passions to.
And I would like to thank the haters, because they helped me, grow as well. So
I think they helped us as well.
Yeah.
They definitely helped us.
For sure.
I want to ask, like, how long have you been doing AJ Jules?
I started I think a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
When was the first lockdown? I think it was like
March 2020. March 2020.
Started around I started during that period.
We're very, very close to when we started as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So November 2019 we started.
So COVID was a blessing in disguise for you guys as well, kind of?
A little bit.
A little bit?
I don't know. It's difficult to say because you can't really compare not having COVID to starting a business in COVID.
Yeah.
I think it's too difficult because the whole zeitgeist of having no COVID is completely different to having COVID, right? I don't know how to answer that question. I don't know what to say if it's a blessing. I think it was a good challenge.
It was a good challenge.
Yeah.
Like learning to adapt to the different ways of doing it. Because we did start, we started before we knew COVID was going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
We created this, we started everything, blah, 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 and then COVID, and okay, we got to adapt, figure out.
So it must have been even harder.
But the good thing was that we didn't have a physical shop. Everything was done online and stuff. So it was an easy thing to
overheads were low.
Yeah.
Which is good.
I think with me was that I was in year 11 at the time. And because we were at home and I just, with studies, I just turned my laptop on, listen, and then do it. I had more time to focus on AJ Jules. I would turn my laptop on, create the rings, package the orders and send them off. So it was kind of easier when it was COVID because I just stayed home, focused on that. But then once school started, it got a bit more challenging, setting the time of school, studies, AJ Jules. So I had to adapt to that time.
I guess in that context, it was kind of difficult from that lockdown period where you go straight home and you either watch Netflix or play games or you do work, right?
Yeah.
After COVID happens, you got people wanting to go out, wanting to socialize a lot more. And I think it got a bit hard trying to do everything, right?
Yes.
Make sure I'm still a good friend. We had this conversation with David because I kind of had a little bit of a realization and a panic attack at work because I was like, how am I going to sustain being a good friend, a good business partner, a good brother, a good, good boyfriend? And it kind of got me because I was like, I felt like I was failing, right? I was failing to be everything. But you can't do everything, right? Like, you have to have that realization. I can't be everything for everyone.
Yes.
I can only try to do my best and do it the best it can be done with the time I have, with the energy I have, and the capacity that I have. I think that's important for anyone listening to this. Is you have to really defining your values is so important.
Yes.
And defining your distractions, and then understanding I'm willing to sacrifice these things, but not to an extent where I'm cutting them completely out of my life. It's just putting boundaries and blocking those times for yourself. And I've been quite sick the past couple of days, and I'm reading a book called The One Thing. And it says, obviously, to understand what your one thing is so that everything else that you do is easier or unnecessary. And finding that one thing is important. But when you're planning and doing time management, the first thing it says to do is to block your time. Block the time for yourself, block the time for rest. We should become people who work, not work to rest, but work for rest. Like work for rest. Like you're working so that, not that you get to rest, so that the rest is the key thing in your life, and everything else is before that. And it's something like I've been listening to podcasts recently, and they've kind of had that conversation. And it was interesting to me, right? I'm working so hard so I get to rest. No, so I'm working hard for this rest at this point in time. And I'm realizing at this point, like when I was sick, when I was resting, I was like, man, I haven't been resting the past couple months and weeks because I've been working like 14, 16 hours on Okiru, right? Like I go to work 8 hours. During my breaks, I'm working. And then I go home, I'm working till late. And I had no rest. Where was I blocking my rest? Right? But now I'm like, when I do my planning, I'm like, all right, I'm going to rest for 2 hours or whatever. And I feel so much better. Right? And there's a difference of understanding what the perspective of rest is. I don't know. I just went on a tangent there. Sorry, guys.
It's fine. Like, you don't want to burn yourself out. You definitely need the rest. 100%.
Being intentional with the rest as well. Because when we think about, I'm not going to do this for a while, but you're still thinking about it in the back of your head.
That's where you feel guilty. Like, you feel guilty, like, I'm procrastinating again. You're really not. You're just taking a rest. But you just adapted to that, like, feeling, like the feeling of just working and working and working. When you take a break, you're like, oh, like, I'm not doing my best. Like,
Well, rest is important because if you go and go and go and go, you're burning the candles from both ends, and you don't have that energy anymore, and you're just kind of forcing it. But when you rest, you allow your mind and your body to digest it all, and when you sleep, you dream, and it's just your brain allowing you to store all of the work, all of the memories into deeper storage there as well. So rest is just so important, and allows us to continue the high performance that we are doing as well. And that's just so important for all of us. So schedule your rest.
Schedule your rest. That's the lesson. What's, Lim, you're on a entrepreneurial journey now. Like, what's your experiences so far?
Working in alignment with your values is what you mentioned before, right? This is the reason why I've joined you boys here on Okiru, because I want to help build community. I want to help bring mindfulness to young people. And this is a platform that can allow me to do that and share it with people that look like me, right? It's an interesting thing, and that's really important, because when I speak to the people at Who Are We event, and they said, oh, you teach yoga, you teach mindfulness. I'm like, yes. And they're inspired because they've never met a teacher that kind of looks like them as well. So that representation really matters, because it's inspiring. You don't know what you may be able to be capable of until you see someone that looks like you that is on that path, right? And as a year 12 student, as a young woman, I bet you will be inspiring so many people as well.
100%.
Thank you. I hope so.
Oh, you are. I'm very inspired by you.
Thank you.
I think when we had our interns on, they were a young age, and the mindset that they have was we were admiring them because like, oh my God, we wish we had that your mindset at your age, and you're even younger and you have that business mindset already. And I'm just like, wow, I wish I was in your position, because you probably heard me say this a lot, but at your age, I was just no life, playing video games hours on end till the morning, till the break of dawn. And you look back and you kind of regret it, but regret's important, regret's valuable. And it was just like, oh, now I don't want to be in that position, right? And to see you, year 12, pursuing business, that's amazing. That's incredible.
Thank you.
So yes, you're inspiring people.
I get like messages sometimes every now and then of people like writing a paragraph, hey Naz, like you've inspired me so much, thank you, you helped me like become, and especially as a Muslim like lady, they were like, oh, I'm a Muslim too, but I always felt like a bit held back, but seeing you like helped me grow and like helped me like enter the new world and everything. And I get messages like that every now and then. I feel so great. It makes me want to cry. It's so amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's truly amazing.
I think like we're in a similar position when we get messages from people like saying it's like, thank you for the work you're doing. Like that's the biggest like win we could ever have. It's not often, but just one random person just be like, thank you for the stuff you're doing daily. It's helping us. Like it's helping me. It's helped me through my dark times.
When I met you guys at Who Are We, I was like really amazed by the whole entire concept of like creating a community and a relationship with like the viewers and everyone on social media. Because usually you see a brand and the main target is obviously selling and making profit, but there's no connection. But what I see with you guys is that deep connection. It's so great. It's so amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
What's that?
Can you explain it?
Okay, wait, this is a bit hard saying in English. So Alhamdulillah is like a Islamic term. It's kind of like thank God, something like that, something around that area.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't even know how to say it in English.
Me neither.
But it's like thank God.
It's like an expression.
Yeah, it's an expression.
Right,
like, thank God
right.
and everything.
And it's a phrase of celebration as well. Like, yes, thank God, and for all the blessings. And just speaking and my travels through Pakistan, and that's how I've learned about Islam. And it's a peaceful religion that people don't realize as well. And having yourself as a Muslim woman is, and I love that, hearing you are inspiring people of your culture and your religion as well. So it's very, very beautiful.
It's a big win. It's a big win.
That's it. See, you never know. You're always inspiring people. And that's like what I reminded these guys is like, sometimes we'll never know the impact we create, but we'll always create impact somehow. Like we're creating ripples in the sea. Yeah. But we just gotta keep consistent, keep doing what we're doing. That's what matters.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So what's the goal for AJ Jules? What do you want to achieve through this?
Well, after year 12, I do plan on taking a gap year. This is to just focus on myself, AJ Jules, because at the moment it's been so busy with school. Year 12, like I've got like 14 weeks left. So I was like, I'm not stopping AJ Jules, never. But I was like, I'll take a tiny break because just 14 more weeks left. I got to get that. I got to get my scores up. I got to get that ATAR, you know? So I was like, for the moment, I'll take a tiny break. I'll still be active on it, just a little break. But after year 12, I really want to expand it further. I want to focus on my like errors. I want to focus on like ways that I'm like not like, struggling on and then expand it further. Yeah.
Nice.
The next year, hopefully.
And we'd love to help be a part of that journey and help however we can, right? That's what we want to do. Like we want to see everyone rise together because we believe there's an abundance of success out there.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And then after my gap year, hopefully when everything gets better, AJ Jules gets bigger, I will like pursue business and arts in university. Yeah. And then after that, probably expand AJ Jules into something even further, maybe add another line. Yeah. I don't know what at the moment, but I just want to expand it as much as I can. And maybe grow like my community as well. I think I'm lacking with the community area just because I'm not entirely active and everything. So that's a goal as well, to expand that community too.
Well, we'll definitely help with that.
We're
building that community and we hope you can be a part of that.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Thank you.
Amazing.
Where do you plan to go around in your gap year? Do you have any plans of traveling or?
Yeah, I really want to go to Europe.
Ooh.
Yeah, so probably like around, travel around Europe and then maybe go towards like Asia, but not like, I wouldn't stay in Asia for a while, for too long.
Yeah.
But in Europe, I just want to see my auntie and then come back to Australia and then just focus on myself and AJ Jaws and just like work as well.
Yeah.
Because currently I'm not working because of school and everything. But yeah, I do want to work next year.
That's good.
Because I did work like last month, but I stopped because it was just getting a bit too much.
Yeah, of course.
And that was like the being coach. I think I remember telling you, I think.
Being coached?
Taekwondo coach.
Oh, maybe you told Liz.
Wait,
Yeah.
Taekwondo coach?
Yeah.
You know, Taekwondo. Oh, she's going to kick our ass, man. Don't mess with her.
So I've done Taekwondo since I think I was 11.
Wow.
And then I started, training to be a coach at like 14 or something.
Yeah.
And then
That's amazing.
and then 15 onwards, I started working as a coach. Yeah.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
I didn't know that.
Many talents.
Yeah.
Many talents.
And you also model, don't you, as well?
Yeah.
Wow.
I want to become, modeling's not my main like passion, but I think acting, I really want to become like a high like top score actor.
Yeah.
I think acting is like more of my passion. Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's crazy.
Wow. I'm amazed.
So for other young women who are wanting to do more and to be their best selves, what can you share with them? Because you are doing so much. You've got all of these goals. You want to be a high level actress. You're a taekwondo coach. You've got a business. You want to work and travel. How do you do it? And how can other young women start to take those steps forward?
Well, I do get a lot of like backlash and hate online, especially being Muslim. A lot of people do say, these are like people that are ignorant. They say, oh, you should be at home, stay at home, do this. You're a Muslim lady, sit back down. And it's kind of like, why would you say that? Like, what's making you like stop us Muslim females, like, achieving our goals and, placing a better name on our on us and everything. And even like other females, like they I'm sure they would face a lot of backlash as well in life. But I think you're just gonna ignore it. Even if you like focus on it, don't focus on it in a negative way that'll negatively impact you. Just think of it as a way like, oh, I'll show them, I show them that I got this. Think of it in a healthy way, because even if it's hate can still drive you. It can still be a driving force. So I think just think of the fact that you're a female and you want to show the world that you are capable of more than what they think. And I think that's what helped me, because even my parents, they know that they know I get a lot of like backlash and everything, but they were still kind of like, oh, you just gotta, don't think about it. Just keep pursuing forward, because one day you will show everyone how amazing and capable of things you are, Nothing's stopping you out there. The only thing that's stopping you is yourself. Yeah.
There you go.
Wow. That's just, I'm so inspired. Like, seriously, I am, you inspire me because you're facing all this and it's not stopping you.
Yes.
Right? So many people would stop just at the moment of people like saying like, what are you doing? Just questioning them. But you're doing all these amazing things, right? And I know martial arts has, that discipline. How have you implemented that discipline in your life, doing all the things that you're doing?
It showed me a lot of like peace. I guess you could see martial arts as like a very chaotic sport. Like, you're always like fighting and everything, but it expresses that peace within you. So you obviously have to learn how to control yourself, how to control your emotions. And I think that helped me so much, because prior to doing taekwondo, I was, it also shows you how to become confident. I was that shy little girl that would stand in the back of the classroom or like just hide in the corner. And even if people approached me, I'd be too shy to even say hi. And then, but then at home, like I would just be angry, you know? And then so joining taekwondo, I changed a lot. Like I went from that being that shy little girl that got bullied at school into someone who was just like talking, making friends and, you know, calming down. Like at the moment, even if someone says something to me that's rude and absurd, I would just be like, it's okay. It's fine. It's like you're just ignorant, but I'm not going to let it affect me. So it just really helped me control my emotions. That's like the biggest thing I've learned from like martial arts, the emotions.
Wow. Oh, amazing.
But how? So martial arts it's an art.
Yes.
Right? So it joins the mind and the physical, and you develop practices that are essentially self-defense, offense as well, so you can attack people. Is it the sense that you can kick their ass? That's why you feel more confident?
When you're fighting someone, you're not letting all that anger out. It's more so like connecting that, like, it's like art, but I don't know how to explain. But when I fight people, like in the ring and all that, I'm not trying to let my anger out. So it's never about that. That's when you're weak, like mentally weak. You can't let your anger get a hold of you. So you learn how to control yourself. You don't want to truly hurt them. I guess, yes, you're trying to win, but you don't want to hurt them. You don't want to bash them up. And then that helps. And then with the with like there's different like types of like arts and everything. So there's like the practices, like the dances, and then there's like the self-defense, and then there's a physical combat and everything. Each of them has like its own significance. For example, the dances, you learn how to like be quiet and like do like peace, do like movements that help you. Like it's kind of like you do yoga and mindset. It's kind of like that helps you. Each move has its own meaning that you have to research and think about. It's very like, it helps your mentality a lot. And I guess like, it makes me more confident outside as well. So if I'm out late at night, I know that, okay, I can, you know, protect myself. I know I can protect myself. And I think that's why my parents are a bit more lenient with letting me do everything at night, because they're like, all right, we've seen her. She can handle herself. She can handle herself,
That's amazing.
So it's about modulating your emotions and not letting your emotions overrun yourself as well, because you've got practices to keep you still through the movements and the patterns and the dances, right? And connecting that with the ability to kick people's asses as well. That's always a bonus. But it sounds like a lot of young people should
I highly recommend
and get involved with martial arts. And there's so many disciplines as well. What would you recommend to people who want to start or who want to try taekwondo, for example?
Well, there's like such a wide range of like different types of martial arts, and each of them like promote different things and sometimes even the same. But I think what I found with taekwondo is that it's kind of like physical wise, it's a mix of like a lot of things, and it makes it easier for you to learn other things. So I did taekwondo, but I was able to learn kickboxing. I did kickboxing for a while, but that's because my body got used to it, and it helped me, you know, become more flexible with doing kickboxing and then boxing. So, but then mentality wise, I would say there's a lot of other sports that could help you as well, like martial arts sports, but taekwondo truly helps you control. It 100% helps you control. And I've tried to like, you know, encourage people to join martial arts, whether it's karate, taekwondo, boxing, kickboxing, whatever it is, just I think you should do it. 100% give it a try. It can help you improve as a person, get that confidence, get that strength, get that mentality.
What made you choose taekwondo over the other disciplines?
Well, okay, so I never wanted to do taekwondo. I did not like taekwondo. I think there was once where our family friends from Adelaide came over to Melbourne because they had a competition. And then my parents were like, oh, we obviously got to go support them. So we went and we watched them. It was pretty cool. At the time, I was like, oh, that's so cool. But I never had the intention of doing it myself. And then the next day, like my dad's driving me to a club and I'm like, what are you doing? And then he signed me up in this club first, and I was the only girl there. I think that was like a really like, it demotivated me because I was kind of like, oh, I'm feeling left out. And I would just stand in the back of the class. And then after that, my parents were like, we got to change. So we found a new club. it was a very diverse, a wide range of like, you know, different people. And then I was like, okay, like it motivated me to do it more. Like I saw like girls that speak the same language as me, that are the same as me. So I was like, I love this. And then I started doing it, and then I got discouraged because I was still like lazy. I was still a child. So I was kind of like, oh, I don't want to do it again. But then my parents never let me quit. They were like, Naz, you started, you're not ending it. So I just kept going. And the more you kept going, the more you realize how much you love it. I guess it does get boring. There are days where you hate it. There are days where you don't want to go anymore. There are days where you cry because you don't want to go. Been there, done that. But at the end of the day, you're going to thank yourself. You're going to be like, okay, I'm so happy that I continued. I'm so happy that I didn't like give up, because it's genuinely like worth it. It's 100% worth it. Yeah.
But the hardest is taking that first step.
Yes.
And getting through the door. And I guess you're lucky you had your dad drive you and force you and push you in a way. But that's what was needed. But how can a young person go into a dojo, for instance, by themselves? It's what can you say and what advice can you give for somebody to take that first step? Maybe they've been curious about boxing, for example. How can they take that first step?
Well, coming from someone that was really shy, and like I would hide behind my parents. Like I was 11 years old, 12, would hide behind my parents. When I went into the new dojo, I was sweating, crying, you know, it was hard. Even the first one, I was like fighting my parents, like, I don't want to go. But I think at the end of it, you don't have to necessarily partake in the physical activities. You don't have to be directly, you know, where all the other children are and all the other adults are. But just watching from a distance, you know, go through the doors, tell them that you would just want to watch for the day, sit down, and just watch them. That can still inspire you. Like when I work as a coach, there are kids that just come in because they don't have that social you know, motivation to go and participate. So I just tell them, you know what, you can sit outside, sit behind the glass, just watch us. They watch us, like 30 minutes in, they join themselves. Like it's just watching helps a lot. Yeah. So I think even if you don't want to like participate, just go in, sit down and look. Whether it's one lesson that you just want to look, or 2 lessons or 3 lessons, just looking would help a lot as well. Just watch what's happening.
How has coaching helped you in your practice?
Well, because I work with children a lot, so it makes me really happy. Like it makes me really, really happy that I'm someone that people look up to, like especially little young children look up to. Hopefully they can, you know, be inspired by me. And it helped me like with the way I am with my family, and especially my younger brothers. I have like a couple younger brothers, and I was like, all right, the way I behave with my students is the way I should behave with my brothers. But obviously there's more of a connection with my brothers. But the way I behave with my brothers, maybe I should behave with them, you know, make them feel more connected as well, you know, be there for them. And it was so heartwarming. Like sometimes I would walk in, this kid's like, oh my God, you're here. Like, they give me a hug. And I was like, oh, I love this. Like watching these kids, like, you know, have me there and feel safe around me. Or like they would ask me to talk to me, and we'd sit down, talk about their life. Like being there for them made me feel so like, wow. It's amazing how they feel, you know, accompanied by me. And it showed me like respect, a lot of respect, because not was I only like speaking to kids. I was also like there for the parents. I was also there for like new people that were coming in. So I was able to learn more about communication, more about respect, more about like, you know, just the outside world and people's different like lifestyles and positions. I was able to like, you know, be like, okay, I understand where you're from. I understand what's going on, you know, understand them and everything. So it helped me a lot with so many different things, so many. I was able to like, because it was like taekwondo is also like a business as well. I was able to get like ideas for my AJ Jules, you know. I was like, okay, this is how a business is run. Maybe I should like, you know, implement that into my business. You know, I should do this. If that's good, then it would be good for my business too, you know. And I also attended like through taekwondo, I attended like business seminars and everything. So I was like, oh wow, like I've already learned a lot through seminars. So I mean, I could implement that into my business as well, into AJ Jules.
Amazing.
There's so many things just from the discipline. Just like transfer to other things. That's amazing.
Just
That's
from
beautiful.
one thing, your life expands so much. It's amazing.
But the beautiful thing is you're collecting different experiences.
Yeah.
Right. And the magic comes at the intersection.
Yes.
So you're developing and you're finding intersections between taekwondo and the business aspect of it and how you can apply it with AJ Jules as well. That's the real beauty of it all. So I guess my advice for people is just keep doing what you're doing and exploring your passions.
Yeah.
And when you get deep enough and you can find other adjacent hobbies and passions, you can find a way to join it together. And that's where the uniqueness of you comes in. That's the specialness of what you're able to bring out to the world is.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of AJ Jules and the taekwondo and Okiru and the community as well, and the design and the videography. It's the beauty of the intersection.
The
magic.
You know, being there with people, experiencing different things, you know, even if you don't think it's like, oh, it's not a big deal. Like, for example, let's say taekwondo. At the time, I never knew I would get this far with taekwondo. I never knew it would like help me expand further. I just saw it as like just a sport that I'm just doing in my free time. And then eventually I realized, no, this is more than a sport. It's helping me grow so much. It's helping me expand my ways and expand my learning. So even if you think it's small, it's really not. It can help you in life so much.
It's definitely.
You just got to stick to it and you'll find out later.
Strive.
Do it.
So tell us about your parents. They sound like incredible people who have supported you along the way. And they don't sound like they're from Australia. Are they from Australia?
No. So we're Afghan. My parents came to Australia. Well, they're supportive of what I do. Obviously, they're still precautious, of my decisions. But I'm quite an independent person. Like, starting AJ is not telling my parents. They know I'm very independent and very competitive. So they sometimes they get worried about my independence because they're like, oh, Naz, maybe you should still consult your decisions. We know you think, you got this, but it's still good to talk about it, you know, so we can give our opinion. So you can get more opinions on it and see which one's the right, which one's wrong. So I was like, oh, okay, see, they're supportive. They're supporting me through this journey. I began telling them more. I began telling them my ideas and telling them everything. And, financial wise and transportation wise and everything, they were able to help me out. They did what they could. Yeah. They're still doing what they can, which is amazing. It's great.
The thing with parents is they're older than you, right? And the fact of being older is that you collect more life experiences as you go through. And as a young person, as a person in year 12, you sometimes don't realize that, hey, your parents can be quite wise and they know things, right? And it's beautiful to see and hear the relationship with your parents, because I think a lot of young people may not have that. It's like, screw them, they're trying to control me, they don't know anything, I want to live my life. And it's that rebellion. Do you see that with your friends?
Well, yeah, I do have friends that obviously rebel because they think that their parents are holding them back. And sometimes there are cases where obviously there's issues between the families, which I think can be a very big hardship for them to overcome. But I think it's just looking forward into fixing that issue, connecting more. It can be very hard, even for me. Even if my parents are supportive, there are days where we're just no, it just doesn't work out. But it's just time and trying. Do you want to have a good relationship with them? If you do, then work for it. Try. It can be hard. It can be very struggling, but as long as you want it, just work for it and it'll come, eventually.
Yeah, I think building that relationship with your parents is important.
Yeah.
And especially at the teenage age, like Lynn was saying, we're very rebellious at that age. You want that independence. But even I'm realizing now, man, your parents are so important. And if you're able to see your parents, if you're in the same country, in the same state, in the same city, don't take that for granted. I've been taking that for granted. And I feel bad. I feel guilty sometimes, right? But compared to other people, some of their parents are overseas and they haven't seen them in years. And it's just I'm so lucky. And sometimes people, especially during that COVID period, people couldn't see loved ones who were at the brink of passing away or who did pass away, right? And there's so much pain in that. So it's, I guess, if anything, like if you have that chance to repair and build that relationship, start now, because you never know when our time is up, right?
Yeah, even I know they're supportive, but there are times where I take it for granted.
Yeah.
There are times where I have issues as well with them, and they have issues with me. But I guess that's just life, and that's just just a relationship you have with someone you love.
Yeah.
You always have to overcome it, but the love will always stay there.
Yeah.
Love will never leave.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's just issues that come and go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's just life.
Yeah.
I think I heard this, life is a roller coaster for a reason. It's like a heartbeat. It goes up and down.
Yeah.
Once you find that neutral point, it's just a flat line.
Yeah.
And that is just death. That just means you're dead. Right?
Yeah.
And I heard that, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That's the reason why we go through these things, because it's a heartbeat. It's a life. That's life. That's what life is. It's full of ups and downs. But once you reach that point of just flatline, you're dead.
Well, you need the downs so that you can appreciate the ups.
Yeah.
This is just the beauty of our experience,
Yeah.
the human experience that we all go through. Because if you're experiencing joy and pleasure all the time, you can't appreciate it anymore. It becomes too normal. You become desensitized to it. And if you experience too much lows, it breaks you.
It does.
So one thing I've learned is the ability to shift states. When you're feeling low, or you've been scrolling for too long, or you just feel unenergized, it's change your state. And it could be taking a shower.
Yes.
That's one thing. It could be just going for a walk, which is very common. But it's shifting your state away from your current location or mind space.
Yeah.
Go out to nature, go see some trees, go to the park, go to the river. Everything is so accessible in Melbourne as well. And that's a key learning of mine, changing your state.
Changing. And like if you're doing the same thing over again, like going the same route to school, to work, just take a left turn somewhere and change the route. Just a small route. And it's just, it changes you, right? It changes your environment. It removes you from having that autopilot to that conscious decision, right? And sometimes I do this practice. I forgot where I heard it, but sometimes when you arrive to work, try retrace your steps and see if you can remember how many times you've turned. So see how many times, count the times you've turned. And then that's how you know if you've consciously got to that point without using autopilot. You know? Because sometimes you arrive at a point, it's like, wait, how did I get here? Wait, it's been like 10, 15 minutes already? And then if you do those steps, like it'll bring you back into the present moment. It'll just reframe your mind. It'll be like, oh, okay, all right, now I'm here. I'm not on autopilot. I'm in my conscious state.
And you don't know what you'll find around the corner as well if you take that left turn, right? And in Melbourne, you're blessed with a lot of street art and graffiti. So it's just like,
exactly,
taking a peep.
It's good.
Just seeing the beauty of people's art, right?
Everything happens. I reckon everything happens for a reason. Everything's just there for you, you know, just to go through, you know?
Exactly.
I think everything does happen for a reason, whether it's bad or good. And hindsight's 2020. You'll really see that after it's happened. And then you realize, oh, these things happen for a reason, right? But it's about reflecting on those times.
Things happen for a reason, but there are opportunities out there. So many opportunities out there. And it depends on you to go out and get it. Because no one's going to grab those opportunities.
Exactly.
Right? And by putting yourself out there, you expand your surface area of luck as well. So I think the lucky people are those who prepare and put in the work. And they put in the work so that they can be aware of the opportunities that are out there and grab it. That's why people are lucky, because they work hard.
Exactly.
If not now, then when? You know, have to go out.
Mindset's just like, I'm learning this stuff now, and you're learning it at 18. Like, what? It's crazy. Seriously, I'm so inspired.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. This is amazing.
I'm going to invite you to join the Centre of Multicultural Youth. Have you heard of the organisation before?
No.
So I've been volunteering with them for the last 2 years. And I think your story, your presence can help inspire many more people through this platform as well. So after this, I'll find a way to connect you.
Yes, 100%.
One of the things I'm involved with is it's called the Shout Out program.
Yeah.
And what we do as Shout Out speakers is we've joined, the Shout Out program is a public speaking agency for young multicultural people.
Yeah.
We'll go out to schools and talk about our experience as young multicultural people, young Muslim, young Asian Australian, and share our stories of growth, of rising, of hardships and dealing with our parents and mental health. And you're closer at the age of the school age than I am, right? Yeah. I'm on the cusp of no longer being anymore, I think. But I think you have great stories to share that
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
It would be amazing opportunity to inspire people. 100% down for it. Yeah.
The really good thing about you just being young and in that age bracket is like we can give advice, and obviously there's experience with that us being older, but people can relate more to you because they're like, oh, wow, she's at this age and she's doing all these things. Yeah. Like, what are you guys, old guys, doing?
Exactly. I was talking about. Exactly. There's no connection there, right? Like there's a misconnection. Like imagine if we were in their position, they'd be like, "Oh, what do you guys know? You guys know nothing." Right?
It's different now.
It's different now. This is our age. This is our generation. But just you inviting her to that opportunity, bro. I was getting goosebumps because that's what we're doing, right? We're giving these opportunities, right? The opportunities are out there. Just getting connected to people can create so many ripples in the sea. So it's just beautiful having Liv here as well, and then sharing your story. Like, wow, it's just incredible.
And your story too, like the fact that you guys also had hardships and experienced similar stuff. Like that makes me feel like I wasn't the only one that was experiencing such hardships. It was others as well.
Yeah. That's it.
It's the Me Too. Right. So we all know the Me Too movement in Hollywood. Let's forget that for a second. I might get in trouble for saying that. But Jasper, Gerald sharing your hardships and then you relating to it and you're like, oh, me too. I felt that way. Yeah. And I remember at the Who Are We event, I wrote, what have you realized on the board? And I wrote, I've come from 2 generations of refugees. And one of the
Sarah, I think your guardian. Sarah came to the board. Yeah.
Sarah. Oh my God, I love Sarah.
I didn't speak to her, but Liz told me she viewed what I wrote and she said, me too, right? And I haven't spoken to her, I haven't met her, but we've developed a connection between the two of us because we've made the same realization as well. Tell us about Sarah.
Okay, so I don't know, no word in the world can explain how much I love and appreciate Sarah. You go through life, you meet people, but then you meet that one person that you just, nothing can replace that one person. And that one person for me will always be Sarah. She was there for me. She's there for me in every situation, whether it's hardships, whether I'm happy, sad, or I'm struggling. She's always there for me. And the fact that she even came to Who Are We event that entire day and night, we got home at 2 o'clock.
Oh my God.
But the fact that she even came after a long day of work, the day before she had a long day of work, it's just, I was so heartwarmed. I was like, wow, I love you so much. She used to go to my school, but she's graduated already. She's currently working, taking a gap year. And when I met her, originally I was like, oh, she's such a cool person. Oh, wow. And then afterwards we started connecting more and then we started connecting even further. I was like, and it was so easy. It was so smooth. It was nothing like, oh, it's kind of awkward. Yeah. No, there's never a time where I'm awkward with her. Never. I'm always with her. I'm always happy with her, always out there. I can be myself. My family loves her. If I say I'm with Sarah, they're like, okay, great, great. Or she's always welcomed in our house. My mom truly loved her. My dad thinks she's an amazing person. My brothers are comfortable with her. She's just always there for me. Nothing can explain how much I love her. Oh, she's a very outgoing person as well. She's she can connect with others as well. When I introduce her to someone, they after that they always tell me like, oh my God, your friend Sarah, she's so cool, like you can easily talk to her. And I always get that like reaction from others every time they meet her. They're like, I can connect to her, like she's an outgoing person. She's just amazing, she's great. And I'm like, I know. I know, that's my family.
Shout out to Sarah.
Shout out to Sarah.
Love you, Sarah.
Yeah, she's an amazing person.
She is. She is an amazing person. I'm so thankful for her. So grateful.
That's awesome.
So happy that you found that person in your life that is that.
Yes, I'm so grateful. I was like thinking about it a couple of days ago. I'm like, I was just sitting. I was like, damn, Sarah.
Oh my God. Well, I want to be mindful of time because we've only booked this for an allocation. But I feel like we could talk to you a long time, at your age and the experiences you're going through and the things that you've learned through your journey. I think there's so much value there, especially for people in your age group, right? And even for us, like we're being inspired by your story, right? So you have the ability to connect with everyone, right? And that's beautiful. That's a beautiful skill to have.
Thank you guys so much. I'm so happy I'm here today. Like meeting you guys was such a great time. I think it was like my favorite part of that day. Sarah and I spoke about you guys afterwards. We were like, oh, we love this brand. They're just amazing. And I think when I was there,
Liz,
yeah. Liz was talking to my friend, and then it wasn't Sarah, it was someone else, and then I forgot that was Liz. I was like, I thought it was my other friend, and then I turned up to Liz. I was like, I love these people, they're so cool. And then Liz was like, thank you. And I'm like, I didn't know that was you. I was not mistaken. I thought it was my friend that I was talking to. And then it was like Liz, and I was like, oh, there we go. I exposed myself.
She's your friend now too. We're all friends here.
Yes.
We are family, right? Like, we haven't known you for so long, but we just feel like we can have this connection with you, right? There's a connection there.
So
maybe we could do like a AJ Jules
AJ
collab.
Jules?
Seriously, I wear this every time I'm out. I always wear it. It's like a part of my ring set now. So you should make some for us, and then we'll sell on our page, right?
Slay.
Maybe they could do like a red, glitter. Yeah, Okiru.
That'd be sick.
What about it?
Yeah, I like it.
I'll wear it. Just one thing though, you should probably sand. It's a bit rough.
That was okay. Story about that. I remember you picked that up, right?
I did.
And then I told him, I was like, do not pick that up. I took it off him. I was like, that's a faulty one. Remember I told you that? I told him, that's the reason for it.
Okay,
I told him, I was like, sorry.
That's my fault.
I took it off him. I was like, that's a faulty one. I don't know why it's there. And I put it in my tub. And he was like, no, I want that one.
I want that one. It looks cool though.
I was like, okay then. Yeah.
That's a lesson right there, right? In terms of faulty, that changed the perception of sanding. So you reduce the perception of her brand a little bit because of that.
Yeah.
But it's just quality control, I guess, and not letting him take it.
It was, I don't know why it was there. I looked at it the moment he picked it up. I was like, I know that one. That shouldn't be there. And then he took it. I was like, okay.
Hey, it's all right. I don't mind it. I like it. I wear it every time I go out. So
it's special.
It's special.
A special memory.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, oh, who are we? When Naz gave me a faulty ring. I'm joking. I'll pick this one.
Watch out, she does.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
Yeah, let's work on something together.
Yeah.
We can add a jewelry section by AJ Jules. Okiru. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, that's amazing.
All right, let's close this out. So, if you can go around the city, enjoy the vibes, and hopefully you don't get home too late, like at 2 a.m., right? But we like to end it with 3 questions.
Yeah.
So we'll answer them as we ask, right? So what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful the most in life. I think support. Support, yeah. I mean, I never relied on support, I guess. But then after figuring out that there's people out there that are willing to support me and help me out, I was like, okay, I really need it. And it's they're always there for me. So I think support is one of the biggest things. And obviously family and friends. But support really helped me connect even to family. even to friends. So support was a main thing. Yeah.
Beautiful.
What have you realized?
What have I realized? That I think time is very valuable. Back then, I was like scrolling. Who cares about time? I just want to sleep, eat, sleep. That's it. Sleep, eat, sleep. That was my routine. and then go to taekwondo, obviously. Yeah. But even then, I think I was kind of on autopilot. But then I was like, time is so valuable. If not now, then when? Yeah. So I have to use my time efficiently and effectively. So yeah, time. That time is very important. Yes, it is.
And final question. What's a question you want to ask yourself or people listening?
A question I want to ask myself and the people that are listening. So myself, I would ask, are you happy with the way things are going? I mean, do you think you're going to succeed further in the future? I always think about those two questions. It's always in the top of my head. It kind of helps me strive further as well. Yeah. And people out there that are listening, what do you want to do? What's stopping you? Go out there, do it. There's nothing stopping you. Come on. What do you want to do?
That's it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Naz, for joining us today. It was an absolute pleasure. And, we can't wait to do more things with you and to see how your journey unfolds.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. It's amazing. I feel so great.
We are blessed to have you on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're grateful for you being on here as well.
Thank you. It's amazing.
So where can people find you?
Okay, so you can follow my ring account on, or jewelry account on Instagram, AJ_Jewels. And then my personal Instagram is Naz_Jafari_ on Instagram.
That's it.
So yeah, and then the AJ Jewels is in my bio. That's
it. So make sure to check her out and follow her journey, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys for listening. We hope you found value in this podcast. And make sure always stay safe, always take care, and always get up. Peace. Okiru.